Well, welcome to The Play. I'm Angie Bruss. It is Thursday, April 18th, 2013. Thank you so much for joining us. We are giving you tomorrow's headlines today, and I'm here with Nick Turgakos, who is the assistant local editor for the Oklahoman. Thanks so much for joining me.
Sure.
Well, patients of a Tulsa dentist, Dr. W. Scott Harrington, were urged to get tested for hepatitis and HIV. Now those test results are back. What do those test results show?
Yeah, they tested so far in the neighborhood of 3,200 people. They found out that 57 people have come back positive for hepatitis C, another 3 are positive for hepatitis B, and 1 or 2, they don't report official numbers for HIV until it gets more than 3, have come back positive for HIV. Now, there's a big disclaimer that the health department is putting down here, and that is that there's no guarantee that these people acquired these diseases from their visit to the dentist. They may have had it before or from something else. But in most cases, I think what we're seeing is that these are people that probably didn't know they were sick until they got caught up in this mess with the dentist and, went into the health department to get tested.
Wow.
So we'll flesh that out in the newspaper tomorrow.
Yeah, very interesting. All right. Of course, there were a number of tornado watches and warnings across Oklahoma on Wednesday, and a few tornadoes touched down in some areas of the state. But many residents in Norman were asking why their town's sirens sounded Wednesday evening, because the National Weather Service had not issued a warning for their area. Now, what did the city officials have to say?
Norman fire officials said that they had reports on the ground of some circulation in the atmosphere, perhaps in the Goldsby area, and they also were kind of relying on some TV reports that they had seen as well, and decided kind of on their own they were going to sound the sirens. Now, this started, to create quite a buzz on the social media set. The National Weather Service quickly responded, hey, we haven't issued a tornado warning. And so people were up in arms a little bit, and today Norman is defending their decision, and we'll get into more of that in the paper as well.
I know, that's an interesting subject because, obviously panic, but then you also want to be careful. So yeah, that's tough. All right, State Regent for Higher Education held a public meeting on Thursday about an increase in tuition and fees. Will students and parents see the cost of college increase?
Well, this is something that comes up every year when the state budget is set, and the leaders of our colleges and universities have to decide how they can fund school and pay for their staff and keep the lights on, so to speak. We won't know for sure about a tuition increase until the fiscal year budget for the next year is set. But what happened today was there was a meeting that some college students were allowed to come and address the regents, make an argument for why tuition shouldn't be increased. They do this every year, and the regents typically will hopefully take their input into account. And something that was a little bit different today was that we had a college professor show up to the meeting as well, and he addressed the regents and actually put in his request to actually have tuition increased, which is obviously the opposite of what the students are going to go in and say. He said that it does need to go up because they need to pay to staff the colleges the way they should be so that students can get good value in their education. Wow. So we're kind of looking at both sides of that argument.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, that's great that obviously the public can come forward and let their voice be heard. All right, the 18th anniversary remembrance ceremony of the 1995 bombing of the Alfred P. Murrah building will take place tomorrow morning. However, we want to tell you the ceremony has been moved inside due to the weather. The service will be held at the First United Methodist Church at Northwest 5th and Robinson Friday morning. And of course, our crews will be there tomorrow, and you can look for coverage of the ceremony online at newsok.com. Thank you so much, Nick.
Yep.